Oh, that was fun. Are you getting dizzy? Oh, you want to play with those? Oh, that's a fun one to shred. Shredding bagels. Are those fun? Good boy. Good boy. Keeping a goose. Goosey goose. What's the password? I don't know. What is the password, honey? You tell me. Climb up, uppity up, up. No, up. I don't want those on the floor. Max. What did I say? Up. Uppity up, up. Max. I'm not impressed with you right now, honey. Let's climb up. Climb up. Climb up. Because I asked you to. Come on up. I've got Aggies, but I can only get you Aggies if you climb up. Them's the rules. There we go. All right, Max. Can you climb up, please? Come on up. Up. As I said, up. Uppity up. What part of up did you not understand? Are you seriously gonna play Klingon? No? Oh boy, Max. Come on up. Uppity up. Max, if you step off, I can go get you Aggies. Want some Aggies? Or do you want to stay on my arm? Come on. Come. Step. There you go. My goodness, Max. You don't know? You don't know you're being a brat? Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello, Suzanne and Esther, Melissa, Tiki, Karen, Raising Cane, our moderator Raising Cane's here. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Barbara. Sylvia. Oh, you got a Bok Bok for Sylvia. What about Sherry? Did you got a Bok Bok for her? Oh, you're ringing a bell for Sherry. Hey, Karen. Oh, my goodness. So good to see everybody joining us. All right. I'm just going to make sure I'm seeing all messages, not just top. Oh, Bok Bok. Hi, Susan. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Paul. Hello, everybody. If you're joining us, make sure you Bok up in the chat. And I apologize if I missed saying your name. Ooh, Under Fluffies. Hi, Max. I see Under Fluffies. Mango. We're over here. Do I turn around? Okay, I'm going to go take care of your brother for a minute. Mango, you're being quiet now. I'm here. Do you want eggies in a cup? Do you want eggies? Hi, Charity. Hi, Paul. Yeah, Mango certainly is being noisy. Do you want eggies in a cup? Foraging cup. Hey, turn around. Come on, turn. Turn around, honey. Turn. I'll rotate it then on you. People can see you. Move this over here a little bit too. There. Now we see you eating eggies. Oh, glad to hear Wendell's doing well. Scritchies to Wendell. Oh my goodness. Who else wants eggies? Here Mango does. Mango. Eggies in a cup. Foraging cup. Yeah, I haven't forgotten about you two. You want eggies? Tico, you're looking kind of eager. Hi, Tico. Come on over. These eggs don't need a bath. Oh my goodness, it's an eggy fest. Burb Love says needed Max today. Everything going okay? Yeah, Max is enjoying himself. I just gave Mango eggies in a cup and I just did the fold over for him. He's definitely getting better at foraging for food. Mango, when he came, he wanted all of his food hand-fed to him on a spoon. And I said, sorry, buddy. You get that occasionally. You get that to begin with. But you know what? There's a good bowl right there. I'll hand you cups. I'll hand you cones. And you can hold them yourself. The first time I handed Mango a cup full of food, he looked at it, flipped it over to look at the other side, and then looked really puzzled as gravity happened to him. He figured it out very quickly that if he flips over the cup, all of the tasty treats run away. So now he's an expert at cup eating. And now I'm beginning to fold over the cups and nest them. So he has to work to get inside, and he knows exactly what's inside, just like Max. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Max is hungry. I like the idea of eggies in a cone emoji. I'll see if I can work on that for you folks. Eggies in a cone emoji. What do you think, Max? Okay, yeah. And today's coffee comes to you courtesy of this cup. I always give people a quick story of the cup. I actually think I used this one not that long ago. This one came from TKL's mom, TKL's original mom. Dear, sweet friend of ours. And she brought it back for me to say thank you one time when I bird sat TKL. And yeah, sweet memories. So it's a very precious cup to me. Oh my goodness, Risen Kane has been a member of our supporters group on YouTube for 16 months. She says, thank you all for being my bird family. Oh, well, you're our family too. My goodness. Yeah. Oh, you got a fistful. Okay. right, you can munch on those. Munchity munch. Munchity munch. I know there's some pretty big storms in the States. I saw our friend Einstein posted up. They were lucky. They only got a little bit of storm. They didn't have major impact. They kept the power on and it passed quickly. But I want to know if you are in the States, how is the big storm treating you? If you're in Eastern Canada, is it hitting you as well? Western Canada, we kind of skipped over the bulk of it. I've got a little bit of snow outside, not a lot. Hang on, I'll pick up the camera and point it out the window. So you can see there, we've got a little bit of snow, not too much, a little bit hazy out, but that's just a little sprinkling of snow. Not much at all from our standpoint. Remember, we're in Calgary. We're used to winter weather. Yeah, I'm going to have to sweep my car before going anywhere today, but it's not too bad. Buster and Ani are in the path of that one too, aren't they, Burb Love? Yeah, lots of our friends are in the States. I'm really glad to hear that Einstein didn't get hit too badly. That means our friends down at Magnolia Exotic Bird Sanctuary would have made out really well too. Becky says, NC Foothills, the storm hasn't gotten here yet. It will start later today. Hi, Jocelyn. Paul says only a sub-zero weekend. Yeah, we've got for those folks who are joining us from further around, Europe, etc. There's a loud mango. There's a big storm. They're calling it a storm of the century, hitting the States right now. The reason they're calling it a storm of the century is because they're getting snow and extreme cold in areas that usually don't get that weather. And they expect that there's a lot of people in the current generation who've never seen a storm like this and might not know how to stay warm and any of the tips. I'm going to give you folks a couple of tips. If you've got, if you're not used to the cold, you may not have the heating in your house, etc. Number one, do not bring barbecues or anything of that nature inside. It's a fire hazard, and things like propane barbecues and whatnot, you can end up with deadly gas buildup. If you want to keep warm, instead do things like covering your windows with some blankets or maybe even cardboard. Get a little bit more insulation between you and the cold. Move into an inside room, bring everybody into an inside room, flock included, and hang out in there, stay warm. Use blankets, dress in a couple of layers. If you are cold, exercise can help warm you up. Lots of good tips there, but do be safe. Up in Canada, our houses are built for the cold, but even in the cold, if the heat went out, it would get pretty cold pretty fast. But what I would do if it got really cold in here and I was unable to get somewhere with heat, I would just take the birds into an inside room, a small room, and focus on that. Use a little bit more insulation around that room, stay inside of that room, just stay warm. One thing you can do is you can make a small terracotta heater out of tea lights. Tea lights are safe to use indoors. Typically don't recommend using candles around birds, but sometimes you sort of weigh it out, right? But if you put a tea light in a safe container and put a terracotta pot over top of it to trap a little bit of heat, you're actually going to heat up that pot a bit, and you're going to generate little bit of a heater. If you're watching this, you've obviously got a little bit of bandwidth. Just do a quick Google on that, and there's some good tips on how to build that. But that's an easy way of bringing some quick heat indoors that is safe. It's not going to heat a large space, but it can add a little bit of heat to a small room. But body heat, lots of blankets, lots of covers. That can always make a big difference, right, Max? Yeah. Are you warm enough in here? Yeah, it's cold outside, but you don't care. Yeah, the windows are shut, the doors are shut. Another thing you can use to insulate your house if you are somewhere that normally does not get a lot of cold, if you don't have cardboard, do you have any bubble wrap? Bubble wrap can make a really good insulator. You can tape a number of layers of saran wrap across the inside of your window and just trap a bit of air in between. Adds an extra layer, not a really thick layer, but can add a little bit of insulation. Yeah, lots of good things. Yeah, Tiki says drip the faucets. Definitely, if you're in an area that's not used to the cold, keep a bit of water dripping through the faucets. Birblove says leave the plumbing cabinet doors. That's important. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of warming centers before storm hits. Figure out where those are, and if you've got somebody highly sensitive, or you're highly sensitive to the cold, if you're a senior or something, think about heading over there. Get to know your neighbors, check in on them, and if it gets really cold, maybe congregate in one house so that there's more people in a room and more body heat. Body heat can do an awful lot to heat things up. I mean, people successfully camp in the winter. Our ancestors used to live in teepees, right? They did not have, some ancestors, other ancestors had different living arrangements, but some of the ancestors in North America lived in teepees, and they were able to keep them warm, but body heat's a big one. My goodness, Max, would you like a bit more eggy? I might have more eggy. I need a big eggy today. Do you want more eggies? Eggies. So Max, if you want eggies, you need to touch green. Touch green. Yes, that's green. Thank you. A little too excited to find green. Yeah, Raising Cane says she's got a fireplace, and that can be good. Make sure that your fireplace, before lighting it, is in good shape. You've got the damper open, and you don't have any birds nesting in the chimney. The time to get that checked out is probably before winter. Yeah. What other tips do we have for staying warm? Hi, Yolanda. I just need to pick up my Facebook camera for a minute, just to catch a couple of comments. Yeah, Max is busy talking to Mango. Helen says weather in Canada doesn't sound very much fun. Well, you know what, Helen? We have winter, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with winter. We're used to it up here. There's some days when it gets really, really cold, but you stay indoors. It's all about layers. Hi, Sherry. Oh my goodness. Yeah, just caught up on a few comments. No, Paul, I do not have a fireplace in this home. My new place is high energy efficiency. And what it does have, though, it has triple pane windows, so extra insulation. It is built high efficiency in terms of keeping heat in and cold out, as well as cool in and heat out in the summer. It just sort of depends what you start off with indoors, right? It is high energy efficiency. I think I already said that. I do have 10 solar panels on the roof. So I have solar power, which is kind of cool. I'm just going to back up here for a minute so my Facebook people can see that I'm also streaming on YouTube. Yeah, there we go. And I'm just going to pop that back down into the holder, folks. Yeah, so I do have solar power, which is kind of nice. Our heat here in Canada, at least Western Canada, where we get long, cold winters, is most people up here have gas heating because electric, it would be far, far too expensive. We have natural gas powered fireplaces and natural gas powered water heaters. And what happens there, you still need electricity, because if your electricity goes out, even if your furnace is gas powered, it's not going to run because the fan is not going to be able to be powered. And the fan's what pushes the heat away from the furnace into other areas of the house. I'm just gonna pick up my Facebook or YouTube folks for a minute. Yeah, just give a quick look outside. Yeah, it is lots of snow. You can see the new homes that are being built out there. You can see the Max Mobile, small little red guy. But yeah, it's definite winter out there. Just saw a raven fly past. We've got a couple that live in the area, which are kind of cool to watch. And this is our setup here, for those of you who are wondering. I've got, this is a light stand. I have Facebook in this on an old camera here. And then I use this clip for this camera. So, oops. Oh, whoa. There we go. Let's just bump that in for a second. There we go. Yeah, there's a bit of snow. That's okay. Tiki says if we lose power, we'll go to a hotel with our parrot. Tiki, how many of your neighbors are planning the same thing? You know, think about that. Bird Love says the pilot light run by electricity is required to operate a gas furnace in NZY. Here we have positive igniters. But you know, I'm not sure if our igniter is power driven or not. I've never really thought about that. The old way of doing it in the older furnaces was always on, little pilot light that was just gas powered. And if it went out, thermocouple would shut off the gas and you'd have to manually relight it. But now it is a igniter spark system for turning on the furnace. So I'm not quite sure how that works. If that needs electricity or not. It's a good question, but regardless, the furnace wouldn't run without. Got people working on houses outside right now. Cold day, but they're still out there. It looks like somebody's working on prepping for siding. It's really fun. Max loves watching neighbor TV. Oh my goodness! Tango Elliott was here and somebody says, bye, Tango. Did I miss Tango? Tango says, sorry guys, I'm not available. See you next week. Bye-bye. Oh my goodness, Tango. I hope everything's well. Hello to you. Yeah. But do check in with your friends and neighbors if you're somewhere cold. Even if you don't know them that well, you know, go knock the door and make sure that they're okay. You know, now's the time to pull together. Where Love says in New York, they changed the law to require electric to operate the pilot light. Not sure why. Well, the old pilot lights that were run by having natural gas, just basically always on pilot light, I think, you know, one of the problems with those is if you end up with if it blows out and the thermocouple fails, you can have natural gas buildup. But quite honestly, that does not happen very often at all. It is exceedingly rare. Otherwise, we'd be hearing about it in the news all the time, right, Max? Yeah. There's millions of homes like that here up in Canada that are still on older gas furnaces. Oh my goodness, Max, what do you want? Did you want banana? You want a banana? I have a banana for you. Let's see. Now, Max usually is a goose when it comes to bananas while we're on the stream. He does not want to eat them because we're streaming, although he's looking a little bit interested right now. Do you want a banana? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If you're not used to the cold, the other thing to remember is a lot of heat will escape off the top of your head. Wear a hat or cover your head. If you don't have a hat, I mean, build one, like, put some towels over the top of your head. That's where a lot of heat will escape, even if you've got a full head of hair. Cover up, wear some hoodies, bundle up. Oh my goodness, super sticker from Sylvia. $2 from Sylvia over on YouTube. Folks, send up some hearts and send up some thank yous. Yeah, we don't have a lot of people on the stream today, and I'm wondering if it's because of the storm in the States. That's okay. I mean, we can hang out. We're good friends, right? So, what do you think, Max? Is that good? Is that tasty? I need to shovel out there today. Yeah, I need to shovel. Max, you should be old enough. Do you think you could shovel for me? Actually, folks, I know exactly what would happen if I gave him the shovel. He'd chew through the handle for me. Oh, I love that. Raising Cane says there, where she is, there's a law. You have to have windshield wipers, but no law to have a windshield. Bird Love says the birds have finally discovered my heated bird bath. All other water is frozen. My goodness. Is that good, Max? Oh my goodness. Well, hello, Rose. Welcome. Rose says first time here. She's over on Facebook. Sorry, I'm just bobbling a little bit here as I pick up the camera. Deborah says, thank you, Rose. I was out of heat and electricity for 2.5 days to a blizzard. 2 trees fell on my house. Oh my goodness. Rose has a great tip. Get a small pop-up tent and put blankets and layer up. Also put those kind that fit on twin beds. Snowsuits in extreme cold and generators don't work and you can keep warm. Yeah, bundle up. But anything where you can layer up is a good idea. A snowsuit may not be enough, but I mean, bundle up with everything you've got because that's going to keep the heat in. Well, welcome, Rose. I hope you've subscribed to the channel. We love seeing that you're here. We're just hanging out right now with Max, who's enjoying a banana. He's helping peel it. They don't actually eat the banana peel, but they prefer to hold it and chew at it. It's kind of fun. And he eats all the banana inside. You chews the peel sometimes a bit to get into the banana. One thing I do with the bananas is I wash the peel before I hand it out. Anne Marie says the bad winter weather has started in the Texas, New Mexico areas. Hi, Loden. Oh my goodness. Hi, Anne Marie. Would you like another banana, Max? I can slice you another one. More bananas. You want another banana? Oh boy. Banana boat. Do, 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 do. Banana. Oh, you really like that banana today. Hi, Cheryl's Park. Glad you're joining us. goodness, is that tasty? That is tasty. So good, so good. I think this banana is the perfect shade of green for Max. Seems pretty happy with it. I just love the way he eats, just so dainty. Scrapes with his top beak and uses his tongue to pick it up. Just as I go up for a zoom in, does Max like plantains as well? Usually just get regular bananas for Max. I should try plantains, shouldn't I? Okay, Tico's giving me the eyeball. Tico's wondering why there's no bananas for Fiona. Tico, I have one for you. I have another one for you. You already had banana today, didn't you? Would you like another one, Tico? Oh, okay, there you go. Hi. Are you sure you're done with the bananas, honey? I got one more here if you want one. Otherwise I'm going to give it to your brother. Yeah, he's done. He's done. Hello, what have I got? It sure is. I know, Max. I know. Max is pretty happy because he's hanging out in the living room with the rest of the flock. Mango's hanging out happily in his room. He right now is just having a good old play with some wood and singing. Can you hear Mango singing in the background? What do you think, Max? I know, yeah. Is that, oh, you're cleaning your beak. Cleaning your beak. So, Max, what game would you like to play? Folks, toss up some comments about what we want to play. I think Max has finished eating. So if you have any ideas of games or activities. Hi, Patty. Beak cleaning. Yeah, Max is busy at that. He likes to keep himself clean. Yeah, he could use another shower right now, but I never shower when it's cold out. I wait for a Chinook. Up here we got Chinooks, which are warm weather that comes through, melts the snow, and brings the outside temperatures up significantly. And the reason I do that is if I ever have a power outage and I've got a wet bird, I've got a little bit of a hassle, right? So I've always been in the habit of just waiting until it warms up. Now with some of the birds, like the cockatoos, they dry off very, very quickly. But, you know, I'm just sort of in the habit of waiting for a warm day. Right, Cal. Oh, you know what, Max? There's a little bit of eggy scrap left. You want me to check out the eggy scraps? Let's check out the eggy scraps. This has a little bit of eggy in it. You gonna be careful with it? All right. It's a cupcake wrapper. I just took around a little bit of eggy. Max knows to tear the cupcake wrapper to get what's inside. He does not eat the wrapper. Hi, Kookaburra. He does not eat the wrapper. He knows better. And why do I use cupcake wrappers? They're food safe. I mean, they're intended to be around our food, so there's really no risk to the flock for them. Obviously, I wouldn't use anything that's foil. I just use something that is paper-based. Hi. And this one's just printed, and Max is just quite happy that there's egg inside. Mango. Mango. I'm here, where are you? I'm here, where are you? I'm here, where are you? Good job. Eat all that? Good job. Okay, here we cut. Oh boy. All right, Max, I'm back. So what did people want to do? Did we have any comments? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Raising King just gifted 5 gift memberships on YouTube. Welcome, welcome. So we have Marie. We have Eva. Congratulations, Eva. We have River. Welcome, River. Welcome, Marie. Kelvin. Oh my goodness, Kelvin. Crystal. Oh my goodness. Welcome, welcome, Crystal. Now, this is awesome. So actually, I should say welcome back, Eva and Kelvin. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we've got some fun emojis. So yeah, our memberships on YouTube, it gives a couple of benefits. Yeah, do you want to tell people about the benefits, buddy? Yeah. You get these super fun emojis you can use on comments and chat. You get early access to Max videos. You get a bit behind the scenes. And you get call outs. And you know that you are helping support the flock. Is your brother being noisy? You know what I think we're gonna do? Let's do a little bit of music. But send up some hearts and a thank you to Raising Cane. Max loves this. He just likes listening to the notes. I'm just going to go calm Mango down with a bit of music. My goodness, Max. Are you dancing? Are you dancing? Max loves anything that's live music. If you can sing and you can sing to him, he appreciates it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's so awesome just hanging out. Burb Love says all my rooms are outside rooms. Burb Love, what about your bathroom? Is that an outside room too? Or what about a closet? You might be able to build up a warm interior room there. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Burb Love's saying she's a bit worried about Marsha. Marsha's always been pretty skinny. She's in good shape. What do you think, Mango? What do you think, Max? Oh goodness, scritchies. We got some scritchies. Yeah. Music and scritchies. Good job, Max. Yeah, for those, does anybody want a personal update on how my dad's doing? Hey, Max, can I get Big Bird? Big Bird! Big Bird! Big Bird! Max, yay! Yay! Hello, can I get a Bok Bok for Raising Cane? For the gift memberships? Bok 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 Bok. One Bok. Well, we need 5 Boks. So we're 5 memberships. Bok Bok. We're at 3. Bok Bok. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Can I get another Bok Bok Bok? Bok. Oh, how about a la la la? La la. Bok Bok. Bok Bok. Bok Bok. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? No, I'm all bocked out. Well, Risen Cane, you got 3 Boks. They were kind of singular Boks. Okay, Max was trolling me. Look at that. Well, there they are. Bok Bok Bok. Bok Bok Bok. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Bok Bok. Can I get a Bok Bok Bok? Everyone in the comments is giving you a Bok Bok Bok, Max. I love this. Everyone in the comments is typing Bok Bok or sending hearts. They love it when you bok. They love the cluckatoo. Gonna get a Bok Bok Bok. Now, folks, you know, now that I've moved, all of my neighbors are gonna think that I'm absolutely insane. My old neighbors were used to me walking around, talking to the bird, and occasionally looking at Max and going, Bok Bok Bok. Now, the new neighbors are gonna think that they're gonna think I lost my mind. Yeah, Bok Bok, Suzanne. Bok Bok. Anne Marie says, I really, really enjoyed the Max visit to see your father. Honest. Yeah. So, yeah, Dad's doing really, really well. For those of you who don't know, he had a major stroke back in October. He spent 2.5 months in hospital, and he's now living in a supportive living arrangement not far from here, which is wonderful. I'm taking Mom to visit him regularly. I'm also supporting my mom because, well, Dad used to support her, right? So I'm there. I'm helping take care of her, right, Max? Yeah. But Dad's doing really, really well. He's settled nicely. He had an appointment yesterday, follow up with the stroke team. And unfortunately, it was all the way down at the other end of the city. It was literally, I spent under just about 2 hours in the car driving him to and from. Long drive, but it went really, really well. And he's doing quite well. Isn't he, Max? Yeah. But yeah, it's good to see that he's settling in. I'm up there an awful lot because, this is new, this is scary, he's making some friends, but I think it's so important that I pop in and check on him and say hello and just make sure that things are going well. Right, Max? Oh, you know what? I learned this one from Mango. You see what I'm doing here? I'm just gently pulling Max's tail and wings. Mango absolutely loves that. And that's one of Mango's love languages, is just a gentle pull of the tail. Like, you're not yanking on it. You're just basically sort of pulling very, very gently. It's not just a pat. It's sort of more of you're sort of pulling the feathers back a little bit. And he absolutely loves that. Now that I do that with Mango, I've started doing that with Max. First time I did that to Max, Max said to me, what the hecky hoo do you think you were doing? We don't do that to me, Mama. But now he's thinking that this actually feels really good. Now, there are a number of things that say you should only touch a bird on their head. With Max, when I first got him, it took years until he could touch his head. The first place he allowed me to touch him was his back. He gets nervous about his head sometimes. And he sometimes wants a bit of touch elsewhere. But one thing I do is I'm very in tune with Max. And if he starts to get interested in going, hubba hubba, I want to mate with your knee, Absolutely not. I'm not touching him anywhere except the head at that point. And we stop immediately. It's cold shower time, right, Max? So I'm careful. I do read his body language very carefully and I pay a lot of attention. Oh, I talked about this last week and Parrot SOS did it again. She put out another one of her skits. I'll have to find it on YouTube and reshare it on YouTube. I shared it out on, I think I shared it out on Facebook and Instagram when I saw it. I was howling. And this skit, she dresses up as a parrot and she has a discussion with herself as the parrot and the person in this one. It was great. It was all about why birds scream when you're out of the room. It's contact call. I'm here. Where are you? And the way she does it is just hilarious. It's well worth watching. Make sure you watch it, give her a thumbs up, and give her a bit of encouragement if we want to see her doing more like that. And I certainly do. Right, Max? Yeah. We should get her over here and do some duels with her, huh? Record her having a conversation in her parrot suit with you. What do you think? You'd probably be okay with the parrot suit, huh? You're okay with everybody dressing up at Comic-Con? Yes! Yes, Max. You're such a good boy. How about we do one more game with you, Max? Let's see. Jingles. Max loves jingles. How about double jingles? And this one too? Double jingles. I didn't know they came in doubles. Oh, you can chew up that? Okay, you can chew up that, honey. I'll put these down here. Yeah, Max loves to chew at these little balls. Now it's a supervised toy. Raising Cane, one thing about these toys, the clappers on them are kind of small. So be really, really careful if you get one for Cane. Yeah, this one's a supervised toy, right, Max? So I think it's okay to have out of the cage because I can watch what's going on and I can watch the beaks. Seriously? Did you just throw that on the floor? Did you just throw that on the floor? Oh! I'm going to put it there. That did not last long, did it, Max? Let's see what else I've got for toys for you, hon. I've got some lovely clean cardboard. This was a separator that came from the box from my pots and pans. And I discovered I still had it when I was reusing the box. So now I'm letting the birds chew at the separators. They're great fun. Clean cardboard. And Max has decided that they're fun to chew on. He's not eating the cardboard, he's just shredding it and chewing at it. And it definitely is great fun. And here I kind of cheated and I put it over top of his head. And that heck, Max. I'm trying to make sure here he's not about to knock himself off the perch. But letting him go at it a bit. Yeah. All right. There. Now it's bobbling about. Oh, Bird Love is about to post a chickadee video. Oh my goodness. I love Bird Love's videos. Little glimpses into her backyard. Those of you on YouTube, check her out. Bird Love. Our friend Bird Love too. Yeah, Max is having a bit of fun with this. You know, birds have short attention spans. I sometimes get a lot of questions from people. One question I get from people is about toys. And they said, I bought a really expensive toy for my bird and my bird turned around and destroyed it. How do I keep my bird from destroying toys? And I can tell you that the first thing I do is I say, okay, you clearly do not understand that the purpose of toys is destruction. Toys are intended to be destroyed. It's the nature of the toy to be destroyed. Toys are supposed to be destroyed. That's what toys are all about. And, the fact that the bird is shredding and chewing and doing stuff, this is a good thing. Now, you're probably going to be pretty upset if you spend $100 on a toy that lasts less than 24 hours. If that's happening, start looking at different toys or look at making your own. Smaller toys are for smaller birds. Bigger birds need bigger toys. There's a lot of fun cardboard toys for smaller birds, and the smaller guys don't go through them nearly as fast. They do shred, they do destroy. Yeah. They do experiment. It's all about sort of, what happens when I do X, right, Max? There we go. How about we go there? Can you get that? That swingies? Can you get that? Yeah, there you go. Big bite. Big bite. But there's a lot of toys that you can make around home. One thing I quite often do is I slice chunks of 2x4 for the big guys. For the big birds. I just buy quite literally a 2x4. And it is the absolute best. I'm just going to, just in case you're curious, how do you make a bird toy? So I'll show you the two pieces to make a bird toy. The first is a 2x4. This is untreated. It's from the lumber store. They're only a few dollars, and it used to be a lot longer. I've been chopping at it. And the second, sorry, I should turn that around. Rip saw. You can also use a power saw. If I'm cutting it up here, I do a rip saw and I just saw, and I make a bird toy out of it. And you want to know how long it takes me to make a chunk for a bird? Let's find out. Does somebody start a timer? And here we go. There we go. And done. I have one bird toy that can be held by the foot. It's okay that there's splinters on it, right, Max? Don't chew at that? I'm gonna pick this up and move this off. It's out of the way so people can see what you're doing. So there goes Max with a chunk of wood. A homemade bird toy. One chunk of wood. Super, super cheap. Did not take me long at all to create. Hi, Pepperna. Yeah, yeah. And you see how he's already chewing at it. Does not take long. You can drill holes in it and string it on a skewer or on a chain, stainless steel only. You can remake toys on old chains. You need a pair of pliers, chunks of wood, a saw, and a drill if you want a hole in them. One tip I'll give you about chunks of wood like this. I can buy chunks of wood like this, a little bit narrower than this, from my friends over at Parrot Trends. They're under toy parts. And a box of toy parts is a lot cheaper than a toy. And Max is probably going to chew on this for a minute, then he's going to toss it. He has better interest in it inside of his cage, but he'll shred this in a matter of a minute. Do you want that, Max? Yeah. He'll shred that in a matter of a minute. You know, it does not take long, but that slice of wood, inexpensive bird toy. Why is it a good toy? Okay, some people say, what if your bird eats wood? You know your bird, supervise the bird to make sure that he's not ingesting any. Most birds don't eat wood. There's always the exception, but most birds know that wood is not edible. It's just sawn. It's just a small piece. The splinters don't matter. The bird will pick them off. And in this case, you know, it's a big thick one for my birds. If I had a small bird, I'd do a small slice, and I'd just do a little narrow slice. And if I had small birds, I wouldn't buy a 2x4. I'd buy maybe a 1x4 and do smaller chunks. Really small birds, I might get balsa wood. Go online and research which woods are safe for birds. Can you use, if you trim a tree at home, can you slice the tree? It depends. It depends what type of tree it is. If it's been treated for pesticides, first, know what kind of tree it is and research if that wood is okay for your bird. Second, check if, you know, what's the history of that tree? Has it been treated with pesticides? Does it have anything on it that the bird can't have? Third, be aware that wood outside could have had outside birds sitting on it. Avian flu is an issue. What I would do is I would scrub down that wood, I would put it in the basement, and I would let it age for 6 months. You know, things like avian flu, they can only last out so long. You can also heat treat it in an oven. You can cook it in an oven for a while. Be careful you don't light anything on fire. There's instructions online, but you can bake it and kill off any pathogens that way. So there's a number of things you can do to make the wood safe for your birds. But untreated lumber, really, really easy way to do it. Inexpensive. The lumber store seems to be coming. I actually have Mango got the best gift certificate for the lumber store this year. It was actually for chains, but you know, I actually need to get a new saw blade for one of my power saws, so I've got to go there, and I need to get more wood for the birds, so they've got more to chew on. But this is a really, really good toy for a Moluccan cockatoo. Cheap, inexpensive. Now, what if you've got a smaller bird? Smaller bird. Hey, I'm going to cut mango one too. There we go. Okay, here's one from Magoo. All right. So I've got two cut right now, and you can see they're two different sizes. This one's for Mango. Mango likes really big chunks. Max likes smaller chunks. So I've got two bird toys here, and I've still got lots of wood. Sawdust. tip. Get a little closer. I have a tip about sawdust. Do you want to chew on this some more? Yeah, some more. Tip about sawdust. If you have hard floors and dusty birds, sawdust is the best sweeping compound. Sweep it over top of the fluff. The bits of fresh sawdust will combine with the fluff and help you sweep up into a neat little pile. It's the original sweeping compound, right? Wonderful, wonderful way to clean things up. Max, that's a raven outside. A big raven. Yeah. He's quite confused why the houses are popping up over here. But yeah, so I mean, there's lots of things you can do for bird toys. Another good one for bird toys, you know, I always talk about toy parts, right? If you've got a store, if you're in Canada, check out Parrot Trends. But a lot of bird toy stores will have a section called toy parts. If you want to make your own toys and you don't want to use any tools, go look at the toy parts. I have 2 toy parts here. I've got a birdie bagel and I've got a mahogany pond. I'm going to do the following. I'm going to make a bird toy without, sorry, careful now. It's okay, Pumpkin. Did you want this? Up, yeah. It's okay. Up. Here, up. Oh, what happened? Oh my goodness. So Max discovered something about gravity. And he also discovered that would not hold him, huh? Oh my goodness. All right, we got the cardboard down. You go up here again? You go up? Uh-oh. Nervous bird. Here, come up. Up the up. Thank you, Max. So Max stepped on that wood and discovered gravity and then sent a bunch of things flying. But I had this and he was looking at this. He was looking at this. You want that one? Here, how about catch? Oops, catch. So I was talking about making a bird toy without, here I've got 3 pieces. I've got a baby link, got a mahogany pot, I got one of these. I'm just going to clip the 3 together. No, Max, this one's not for you. The mahogany pots are not for you because you destroy them too quickly. Take a moment. There we go. Oh. Here, you want another one of these? Oops. Oh, Max. Got to sweep now. Catch. Catch. Stand tall. Catch. 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 Okay. So what I just did to make a bird toy, 1 mahogany pod, 1 clip, 2 birdie bagels. Wonderful, wonderful toy for Tico. Tico, do you want a bird toy? I'm going to clip this over here. There you go. All right. I handed that one out, honey. Now, Max, you're looking like you really, really wanted a mahogany pod. All right, I'll let you have one. It's not going to last long for Max. He's going to shred it very quickly. But most birds I know go nuts over mahogany pods. It shreds so easily. These are great for smaller birds. Yeah, they taste good, don't they, Max? Yeah, we'll let him destroy one. I'm just going to ask if I can trade him that for a different toy. And I'll show you how much he likes his foot toys. Which toy? Which toy? Would you prefer this toy that toy? Mom, I got a mahogany pot. Do you mind? Yeah, he likes his mahogany pot. He really likes it. I don't give him a lot of it because Raising Cane says that pod's about the size of Lily. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it does not last long. But mahogany pods, I'll describe the cross section here. You know, they are relatively soft and they are very easy to chew. They're great for smaller birds. And what I'm doing here is I'm stealing the bits of the mahogany pod and giving them to Cal right now. So I'm not wasting it. It's just pre-broken down by Max, who has now destroyed and dropped the mahogany pod. Was that a good pod, honey? That was good. Okay. But mahogany pods are a favorite. All right, folks. I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the super stickers. Thank you for the stars. Special shout out to Raising Cane, who gifted 5 memberships. And thank you to Sylvia for the super sticker. Oh, Kookaburra says, here's what I heard Max say in Nicole's last video. Want a cookie? Cut my chalk? Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. It is so good to hang out with everybody. But yeah, I think we're going to end the stream. But I want to say thank you to everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And make sure you check out this week's videos. If you missed anything, there's a lot of fun videos out there. Bok Bok, everybody. Thank you to Raising Keen as well, our moderator. We appreciate you. We really, really do. But yeah. Have a great day. Thanks, Yolanda. Thanks, Christine. Thanks, Deborah. Thanks, Don. Hi, Bambi. Thanks, Andrea. Thanks, Jim Gems. Barbara just joined us a bit late. Yeah, Mango loves music. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. All right. Finishing up on Facebook and YouTube, folks. Yeah. No, but toy parts, absolutely best. Really inexpensive way to entertain your flock. Yeah, please stay safe, Kookaburra.